Hey, good afternoon. This is a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Kerrville, Texas, and I'm so happy because Courtney got to come home this weekend.
Yay!
So, the problem of the week is this. It was interesting because not only was I having a problem with it, but Courtney got some emails about this very problem. So, the problem of the week is this. I have a son that's 15 years old, and he is a pitcher. And guess what? Same problem Courtney's had for 3 years. And guess what they do? They throw out their arms. So our dogs in the back have all of a sudden gotten crazy. But anyways, so I called Courtney and said, man, Ryder keeps throwing out that arm. He's in pain. I asked Ryder, I said, what are you doing at school? He's 15 in high school. I said, what are y'all doing to warm up that arm? Well, there's just not enough hours in the day, unfortunately, to warm up these guys. So Courtney and I got to researching it. And so today we're going to show you some great exercises to help you with this area. So Court, what do you got for us?
I mean, the past 3 years, I have thrown on my arm every year, even in high school. So this year, now I'm an outfielder, so now I'm throwing farther. I really, got in there and really strengthened these arms and my rotator cuff and all the muscles that, help you perform that. So this year, not haven't even thrown it out.
So
So
let's talk about what the muscle groups are that we're talking about around the arm that affect us when we're throwing or pitching. So guess what? Bicep, little
yeah,
tricep, little forearm action right here. We get a lot of this. We get a little tendonitis around here. Guess what comes into play back here? That rotary cuff. So, and what's this that they back? What else, Court?
Um, I mean, another strong, part of the body that needs to be strengthened is your core. When we're doing that throwing motion, we're using our core to really power through it. So,
And I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. And for these young kids, it's so important that we warm them up. Ryder missed a whole season of pitching. He went in last year and he was young, and they didn't warm him up, and so all year he could only pitch maybe an inning and a half. And he's a great pitcher, but he threw it out. When it's out, it's out. So let's really help our young ones. And if we start them out now and we educate them, then guess what? They're not going to have these problems as they get older. And I know a lot of you are probably sending your kids to pitching lessons or whatever, and they have the money to do that. Well, lots of us don't. And so we want to help you be prepared and prepare your child so that these injuries don't occur, because these injuries can occur and then they're out forever. They're done. So let's don't let that happen. And these are simple things, and we're going to take you outside first, and then we're going to take you to the gym. So let's start with what, Court?
our dynamic warm up.
All right. Okay, so we're fixing to get started with some warm-up for the lower half of your body. We're always going to remind you that there are full 30, 45-minute workouts online just for pitchers, softball throwers. I mean, there's just so much information out there. But we feel what's really being missed, and not that the whole warm-up is important, it is, but we feel like most of you aren't stretching out before you go and do these activities, and that's where our players are getting hurt, our kids are. So what we really want you to try to do is do this before they get to the field, because he's going to stretch them out again, or she's going to stretch them out again. But Courtney and I have been through years and years of high school softball and baseball, and we're not seeing those kids get stretched out properly. So what we want you to do is incorporate these stretches before your kid goes to those workouts. And what we think you'll see is a lot less injuries and a lot stronger throwing abilities. So, Court, you want to get us started?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, first thing we're going to do is, work on our lower body and get that stretched out, because that's just as important as our upper body throwing. That's where we're formulating a lot of our power. So, let's get started with the first one. All right. So, for about 10 steps on each side, I'm going to do knee pulls. I'm going to make sure I'm really bringing it up to my chest and walking forward. So I'm going to show you the back. Walk.
Court's going to do, they normally would walk up and down this sidewalk, probably 10 steps, sometimes 5 yards in college, she says, so that's a lot. But we'd like for you to do 10 on each leg. If you can do more, do more. If you have time to do more, please do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So after you get done with that and you're feeling, good, you really brought it up to your chest, we're going to do our hamstring pulls. And with this one, we really want to make sure that our knee is pointed to the ground. So we really feel that full stretch.
The only thing I always remind people about when we're doing those quadricep stretches is that you can feel some strain in those muscles. Some people are a lot more flexible than others. I'm not really flexible, and we find that kids are the same way. So remind your children that if there is pain in your stretching, you've stretched too far. You're not ready to pull it that far back. Pain is no good. Stretching, you can feel it. Ah, that feels good. But if you start feeling owie, owie's bad. So work up to it.
There you go. All right, the next one is going to be our toe touches. So for this one, we're just going to take a step out, and with our opposite arm and opposite leg, we're going to go ahead down and touch our toe. So let me show you the side angle to that, because we really want to get our body parallel with our legs. Some can't. I'm not very flexible, but I'm going to give it a good try. I'm going to lean and stretch, and then go into my next foot. So here, stretch, take a step.
Think about it. Look at the motion. As we throw the ball, are we not ending up in some of those positions as pitchers? We go from top all the way down to our leg when those pitchers are throwing those balls. So look how important that stretch is.
Ooh.
Owie.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
All right.
All right, stretch it
All
out.
right. All right. So this next one is a lunge that's also going to start activating our trunk and core muscles to get those stretched out, because those are also very important in throwing. So this is just going to be a lunge with a twist. So I'm going to step out, and I'm going to twist the side of my knee. So there we go. Back up, lunge again, and twist. Then you'll do that down and back.
I have to tell you, we do these a lot in the gym with balls, weight balls.
You can also do it backwards.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
Do y'all do any, what about the around the house? Do y'all do those, Court?
Very good. Those also, get us, ready to throw. And I'm gonna show you the backward motion first. And all we're gonna do is kind of like a high knee, and we're gonna push back. High knee, push back, and then going forwards, we're gonna we call them over hurdles. So imagine a hurdle that you're got to get over.
Yeah,
Here.
that makes sense.
There. And what goes along with that is under hurdle. So we're going to pretend that we have to step through a hurdle and come under it.
Ah, nice inner thigh stretches.
Come
Wondering
under
where
the
that
hurdle,
was going to come into play.
and then go back under the hurdle this way. Step. It's kind of a squat into a nice lunge. We're really stretching that out right there. There you go.
Nice.
So those are just, a few of our core ones that really get the bottom half of our body stretched.
So we just don't want to, I think the importance here, guys, is to remember is that these are exercises that we know that your players are probably not seeing, especially, I got to tell you, in 1A, 2A, we're really small schools. And so we just don't see that big gun playing like everybody else does, but our kids are still going on and playing college ball. Courtney came from 1A and still went on to play college ball and was never warmed up, in any of these type of exercises. So every year throwing out the arm, every year, it was painful, and every year, she was told, oh, get tough, be tough, Court.
Yeah.
Well, they are tough. And so, again, we just like to point out we know our coaches don't have all that time with their kids. So you prepare your kid and you get them warmed up. You have that 15, 20 minutes before they go, and it will make your players so much more successful and so much more healthier as they get going. So now we're going to show you some upper body movements that you can do to stretch out as well. So,
all right, so we just finished our core stretches, and now I want to do kind of the same stretching motions, but let's add some more movement to them. So let me show you the first one. It's going to be the same concept as our knee pulls, but it's going to be more of a skip with one high knee. So we're going to go here, 1, 2, 3, with a little bounce. Just really getting that knee to our chest. I'll show you back.
Obviously, what we're trying to do now is get some blood flow going, warming up those muscles even more.
All right, so once you got that one down, you did about 10 each side, down and back. We'll go into butt kicks. Everyone knows how to do a good butt kick. Let me show you. Here's our front. Really stretching that back knee. We're kicking our butt back there. And it's also important to use your arms. You know, as well as warming up our legs, we are warming up those arms too. So, our next one, we did under the hurdle and over the hurdle. We can also add a little motion to that. We're going to start here, and we're going to skid back. Push that knee back. We can do it forward. Just adding a little bounce. Really getting that up. Alright, our last one that I want to go through is a shuffle, but it's not going to be, you know, a regular basketball quick shuffle. We're going to do a nice and slow, wide stance. Out wide. Show you from the side. Step. Don't come in too close. Really staying low. And that's going to not only give us, you know, to warm up those, you know, inner and outer muscles, but really just get us warm, ready to go to still bases or anything like that.
So let's face it, how many times do we get on the field and they go, take off running, kids?
Yeah.
And the first thing we do is we take off from that home plate to that first base, and what do? We pull a quad. We pull a hamstring.
Yep.
You know, so we trip our ankles, and you know that's all part of the game. So
after, you know, you've gotten warmed up and you went through your lower half stretches and you got your movement in, now after that, then you can start working into some build-ups of running. So don't just get on the line and sprint it out. We have to work ourselves up, you know, to get there. So, you know, start at 30% jog, you know, 40. Work yourself up and then get into your sprint. Don't go straight into it, because every year I do that and there goes my hamstring.
And we're wrapped up all season,
and
aren't
all
we?
season.
Going, oh, the pain.
Yeah.
All right, so Court, now we're going to start off with some upper body stretching,
Mhm.
right? Okay,
Yep.
So how should we start that?
All right, so for this, you know, just some simple arm circles. We're going to do little ones, there, 10 times, then go back, 1, 2, 3, you know, 10 times back. We're going to go big, same, 10 times. We're going to go back big, 10 times. Then we're going to get out into a wide stance like this. Lean over and let your throwing arm hang. We're just going to do some arm circles from this hanging position. Just like that. You can do the other side too if you needed to. And then we're going to grab a partner.
Oh, that's me, Court.
You.
Me gets in the picture. Okay, all right.
All right. So you're going to have this partner. You know, make sure that you're straight out of your shoulder right there. And then she's going to push my throwing arm back, not
hard.
too far.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to hold this about 15 seconds. All right, and then she's going to let me go. I'm going to, all right, shake it out. I'm going to have her do it to me again. Going back. Stretching it. 15 seconds. And then I'm going to have her push me forward. So there we go. 15 seconds. And then shake it out and do it again. Then after we've gotten, you know, our front and back stretched out, I'm going to have her grab my arms from the back and lift up, not too far where we're feeling pain, just enough to get a good stretch. There we go. Now, you know, just shake it out. And, you know, there's other stretches that you see every day that we, you know, they make us do, they tell us to do, and, you know, we're just kind of like, oh, yeah.
They're important stretches.
They are important stretches.
So partake of them.
And really, you know, really get that good stretch. Don't, you know, let your arm hang, and really take advantage of those, because those are going to be a main part of why we're throwing out our arms.
That's right. And remember, moms and dads, if we're lucky enough to have a dad watching, that, you know, for all these years, every time I go to a field, I got to tell you, 70% of us there are the moms. So, moms, I know it's one more job. You're going, one more job I've got to do. But if you really are interested in seeing your kid go to the next level, this is part of the next level. And I can tell you how important it was to keep Courtney healthy all those years, because in the end, what happened was we got a college scholarship. And guess what? That meant there was no money coming out of my pocket, or less money coming out of my pocket. And that's where we take, that. So you really want to think about the long term of your athlete. And if you can get these things incorporated when they're young, they'll start doing them on their own. And it just keeps them healthy for so long, keeps them from having those surgeries. And so you're also going to find that in basketball, we played basketball too, and same injuries: hamstring, inner thighs, arms, or same thing. We get the same injuries. So these are all exercises that are going to be good for all over our body as well. So Corey, we're going to start working out doing a little weight work. We're going to show you that in every sport we have injuries that occur. So for this part of this segment, it's our pitchers, and just our regular, we're always throwing that ball. But here's what's important that we don't talk about, is that we have muscles that surround all of those areas, and we talked about that earlier in the tape, and we're going to show you how to work those out at home. And if you're lucky enough to be able to go to the gym, we're going to later show you how to do that at the gym, but it's so simple to do it at home as well. So we're going to get started with that.